So what's your story?
Hanging with Dr. Hendrix, CCPS, we are getting to it. Obstacles do not exist, like a drop through, we are getting through it. Set the limit for the clouds, so we fly high. We got twinkle, twinkle, big stars way up in the sky. Make sure that you salute us far away or nearby. 2 thumbs up and they soar when they fly. Clayton County, watch and see, no need to ask why, cause we'll make it when we make it to the top, no lie. Kick it with motivation, so we keep determination. Spread it all across the nation that we are hot, so call it Cajun. Hanging with Dr. Hendrix, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, I'm signing off, sincerely mulatto. Hanging, I'm hanging with Dr. Hendrix. Hanging, I'm hanging with Dr. Hendrix. Hanging with Dr. Hendrix. Hanging with Dr. Hendrix. Hanging with Dr. Hendrix.
Hi, and welcome to Hanging with Dr. Hendrix. Recently, I had an opportunity to meet with students from all of our district high schools at the annual Teen Summit. Our discussion centered around the top 10 issues that teenagers face daily. What we found is that the issues varied and transcended just high school age kids. We also found that many high school students not only experienced some of these issues, we also found that many of these same students had great advice for their peers. Parents, I ask that you pay close attention to what your children have to say. This may provide insight into some of the questions you may have about your child's recent behaviors. Here's my conversation with the kids. First of all, let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Doug Hendrix, and I happen to work for the school system. I'm actually the Chief Human Resource Officer. That means that I'm responsible for working with people who get hired. Unfortunately, I sometimes have to work with people on the other end who get fired, people who are transferred, all things that relate to personnel, benefits, health insurance, risk management. I also have the pleasure of working with the people in communications, the people in professional learning, and I am always inspired and happy to work with the people that I work with because they are so talented and they're such an inspiration to me in the work that we do. I don't know what the format has been up to this point, but I can tell you now that this is not a spectator sport. I expect that everyone who's with me right now would share their experiences so that we can help people. That's what Hanging with Dr. Hendrix has always been about. It's been about helping other people through experiences, through encouraging people. And so we want to do that today. Deal? Save that for Dr. Heatley. Deal? Yeah. There you go. There you go. So our topic of discussion is the top 10 issues that teenagers, high school age teenagers, have to deal with. And who better to talk to about those issues but a group of high school teenagers, right? And so what we're going to do, I've done some research and there's some issues that I found that we want to talk about. And I want to jump right into those. We're going to give you what they are. We're going to give you a statement about them. And then we're going to have a discussion about each one. So let's get started. Topic number 1, issue number 1.
Depression is a beyond sadness that, in serious cases, can lead to suicide. There are different forms of depression, and it is often difficult to detect. Adults sometimes fail to recognize and understand that the situations we teens face every day are different from what they face, but our situations are equally as valid. Many factors can lead to depression, and everyone reacts to different things. Depression is very difficult to avoid.
Thank you. Thank you. First issue. Depression. Is it true? Is it true that kids your age, because sometimes we as adults, as you just said, don't understand or see what you would be depressed about. But is depression real with teenage kids? Anybody want to jump into the conversation?
I think that the depression is very real because oftentimes we are denied our feelings. Somebody tells us that we don't have the right to feel a certain way. And it's been proven that when your feelings are denied, it makes them even more intense than they were to begin with. So really, I think we all just need to recognize that the depression is very real and that we all just need to build a support system for those who may not be as happy as us. And school can also cause depression. Thank you.
Great points on depression. So there are multiple things that can create depression within kids, and I agree that it's a very real situation. Whereas for a person like me or an adult like me, it may be my bills. Although you don't have bills, it may be some type of pressure that you're getting, sometimes peer pressure. Anybody want to comment on anything dealing with depression or any more about depression? Because even if you're not depressed, I guarantee you have a friend somewhere who is depressed about something, right? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I know when it comes to depression, there are a lot of things, like they said, that can lead to depression, like being bullied or there's been a traumatic experience in your household or something. That can also lead over. And then when you keep battling in your emotions, it can like just blow up until you just pretty much jump over the edge into full-fledged depression where you just don't know what you want to do. Like, you don't know how to deal with things. And I feel like, how she said, we should help those who have depression so they don't lead, so it doesn't lead to them jumping over the edge like you see a lot of days now in the media.
Absolutely. Great points. You had a comment, sweetheart?
Depression affects a lot of people because some people don't have support systems at home. A lot of people come from troubled households with only one parent. Some people come from backgrounds where they're not supported. Other people face bullying because of their size or maybe their height or what they can do academically. Other people face peer pressure and gang violence. So we cannot say that depression is not an issue because there are a lot of things affecting our youth today, especially when it comes to the fact that some people don't know what they want to do. They don't have mentors in their life because not everybody has supportive parents anymore.
You start being a good person by being good to other people. It shows that you have respect and decency about you and that you value other people's existence. Okay? Excellent job on depression. Issue number 2.
State the issue too. Drugs and alcohol. Teens get pressured to drink and do drugs all the time, and whether or not a teen decides to engage in this behavior impacts his or her image. Friends can pressure you to abuse substances or support you to live a sober lifestyle. Also, teens may use alcohol and drugs to escape from their problems. When they do this, it can cause lasting effects on teens such as dependency, legal problems, health issues, and regretful decisions.
Thank you. Now, I would venture to say, and I would hope that no one in here indulges in that kind of behavior, okay? I would say that. But I know that the likelihood of someone your age being involved in that behavior is not far-fetched. Even if you don't indulge in that behavior, you probably know someone who does. Based on your knowledge, let's talk about drugs and alcohol being an issue for high school age teens. How many people would agree just by a show of hands that that is a real issue for high school age students? Wow. Wow. If I may, put your hands down. How many of you know someone who's already underage, but they're dealing in drugs and alcohol? Wow, I would say that that's the majority, if not all, of our Teen Summit members. So let's talk about it. How do kids get involved in drugs and alcohol based on your experiences with your friends and just seeing other people? How does that happen?
Like depression, like for a lot of people, depression leads into drugs and alcohol. So as you can see, depression, it'll flush you right into a hole. And then you have drugs, which push you more down. So, and then you have maybe like a 12 household, like nobody cares, so it gets worse. So the best thing to do is like keep your head up, because you know I'm a big dude. I play football, so I mean I don't let people bother me about my size or whatever, because I know what I can do with it. So, like I said, like depression is that. It's depression, and it leads into drugs and alcohol. So that's what
I agree about what was just said, but I mainly believe that students take alcohol and drugs not because they're influenced by the media or people or try to be cool. I believe they mainly take it because they're trying to escape many problems. Like everybody says about depression, a lot of things you face, they're trying to find an escape route instead of being motivated. Try to find something that can soothe the pain a little bit and forget it. Like I know some students or whatever, when they need to talk to me, they'll tell me, and I ask them like, why they do it or whatever, and they told me it's like it feels like they can escape life for a moment. They can put everything in pause. Maybe if we were able to substitute something that can do that instead of students drinking and harming their bodies, maybe it worked instead of talking about the negative influence by the media when it's actually an internal problem with the kids and everything.
Number 3, issue number 3. Miss Vanessa.
Thank you. Faith. Developing a faith life can set you apart from those who don't share your views. People's faith can cause them to lose friends, which is ridiculous. Media influence also adds a great deal of pressure. Most music glorifies drugs and alcohol and other immoral choices. Some religious expectations conflict with societal expectations, but it is influenced by many external factors such as peers and media. Faith.
Mm-hmm. So let me preface this when we start to talk about faith. First of all, we're not talking about any specific faith. We're not trying to influence anybody to any faith. But what we are saying, or what we're bringing up as an issue, is what do you believe in? And whatever it is that you believe in, what is it based in? And then how does it conflict with the things that are going on around you that shouldn't be, right? So that's what we mean when we're talking about faith. What do you believe in? Is there a conflict in what you believe in, what's going on, and how do you deal with it? So faith. Is faith an issue based on your opinion, based on your observations for high school, teenage students? How many people would say yes? Raise your hands. Okay. Anybody care to comment on that? Okay. Comments. Okay, I got 2.
Honestly, I have like mixed emotions about religion because when I was 12, my best friend died in a fight. And so then I lost faith completely because I didn't know what to do because he left me. I was like, well, that was just rude. And then I was thinking, God, why would you give this person away? And he was the only friend I had when I was 12. So then, like, now I'm trying to get back into it a little bit. I'm going to church at school, and like, it's kind of hard because it's kind of hard to explain to people. They'd be like, what religion are you? And I'm like, well, I'm on the bridge right now. And they're like, oh, well, I don't want to talk to you because, you may be an atheist. I don't talk to atheists. And it's kind of hard getting around to people, and they don't really understand why. But I'm trying to get back into it, though.
I wish you the best in your endeavors. It's about believing in something. And that's something I can't define for you. That's for you and your parents. But believing in something and then deciding, does it conflict with those good things that I know are right? Okay?
I believe that you should believe in yourself and your own abilities before you try to do anything else. Because you could pray to God, you could bow your head and everything. But what really counts is what you and yourself can do alone. And what that does is, when you believe in yourself, you try to strive and do your best before anything and anybody else can say anything. But you know what you can do, and that's what makes me strive to do my best in everything that I do.
I think we've had some great comments on this topic. We're going to move away from it, but let me say this as it relates to faith. For me, faith is a set of standards that I have for my life, okay? And those standards cannot be changed or wavered by people who are caught up in what they see in the media. They can't be changed based on what people think is cool. They can't be changed based on any kind of pressure that I receive from other people. I'm grounded in those standards that I think will take me where I want to go. Are we clear? Okay, next issue number 4. read the issue and then tell us what you got.
Media. Media includes all electronic and print forms used for sharing of information. The most common in the lives of teens are internet, TV, and music. Virtually everyone is influenced by some kind of media on a daily basis. It bombards us with some truths, some half-truths, and some lies. Teens have very little influence on the media because it is controlled by adults. However, teens get blamed for the way the media influences them.
Is media an issue? Let me see by a show of hands how many people think people are influenced negatively by the media in some form or fashion, whether it be TV, music, social networks, whatever. This will probably be a popular topic. I do want to hear why, but we may not be able to get to everybody. But who or why do you believe that the media is an issue? My man in the back.
Good morning, everyone. To be honest, let me just say this. Media has been one of the greatest things to ever come to our society. However, the negative aspects that come with it are too great to ignore. I have a saying, the conversation is dead. All people, even my peers, we can no longer hold a conversation with each other. We can't talk to each other. We can't express our emotions for one another. Everything is digital. Everything has to be said online. We can't feel one another. We can't hear one another whenever we speak to each other. And so it's made everyone so warped. No one is into one reality. Everyone is into their own. There's no connection. There's no communication in our society anymore. And it's one of the biggest problems I think faces our world, is that we can no longer feel what others feel. We have no empathy. We have no feelings for one another. And I just think that media needs a wake-up call, to be honest. And just what you see on the news, what you see on the internet, it's not real. It's not what you see. It's not blood. It's not flesh. It's not human. It's a bad thing. It has good aspects, but it still needs to be reformed, be changed. And I'm not sure what the future has for the media or for anyone else who is actually in media, but we really need to stand up for what we believe in, stand up for ourselves, stand up for our beliefs. I just want to say that.
Powerful comment.
I think the influence of the media is really great. I think sometimes people confuse what may be only a perception of something that's not reality. Like some people may see different TV shows like the Bad Girls Club, and they're fighting and you know, hear different music, and they're talking about this lifestyle, and they get caught up in that, and you know, girls want to fight because they saw it on TV or they heard about it in a song, and that may not be reality, but it's their reality, but not the actual person who's reflecting that it is. So I think if people were more secure in who they were, which is my whole policy on almost everything, then they could listen to any type of music. Like I listen to, you know, rap and R&B and different types of music, but because I know, hey, half of that's not reality, I'm not going to go out and fight somebody just because I heard a song about it. So if you know who you are, then it doesn't really matter what you listen to or what you watch. I'm not condoning, you know, anything reckless either, but I'm just saying it wouldn't really matter because, hey, I know who I am, so it doesn't matter. But if you don't know who you are, then when you see people fighting, hey, well, you know, this show gets a lot of reviews, so maybe that's cool now, and people go out and do it, and that's not the way to go. So I think media is really.
We're at number 5. Okay, we got to speed it up, huh? Number 5. Let us know your issue and then read to us. Tell us what you got.
Money. A major problem facing any teen is the growing responsibility of financial management. They must learn to be thrifty and save their futures. Teens must distinguish between their personal wants and needs and shouldn't feel the urge to buy something just to fit in with the group. In tough economic times, when parents lose their jobs and financial struggles negatively impact the family, teens are often forced to abandon their social activities and get a job to help support the family.
If you believe that money is an issue for teens, high school teens, please raise your hand. If you believe that it's an issue for adults, please raise your hand. It's an issue. It's an issue that personally I don't think children should have to be subject to, but it is an issue. Why? How is it an issue? Let me see hands of people who would like to comment on that, giving preference to those who hadn't spoke before. Young Dr. Hendrix, you sharp as Dr. Hendrix, man. We'll get you started first.
Well, first of all, we know money don't grow on trees, so we have to get it from somewhere. And we need a job to get it, and that takes up a lot of our time, a lot of times. And usually what we can't do is incorporate job, schoolwork, and athletics together. And somewhere we gotta drop a area, a subject. Like usually most people have jobs, slacks in their academics. And right now, this is what the country needs, more academic scholars to improve the economy. And this is what I really believe. We should hold strong towards academic, and the money will come later in college with your degrees.
Great point. I can't say that I disagree. Hold true to your academics, work hard on your goals, and the money will follow those. Great. We're going to start right here. We'll go right back here. I'm going to take 2 more questions because we got to move on, okay? I'm sorry.
Money is a big problem because for me, I see a lot of these new businesses or like stuff that really isn't really necessary, but we need more money on our academics and sports, we need more money in schools when you think about it, because at the end of the day, anybody can make a business, to be honest, but who's going to start? It starts at school, to be honest.
Great point. Starts with education. My man right here.
Ever since I've been in high school, like I've noticed that I had to come out of my pocket more than usual. And so like, I want to say, like money really is an issue. Like, I can't even say how much money I've spent in high school because I'm in so many clubs. Like, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to.
Well, it's a great point, and it goes back to touch the fact that more money is being taken from schools, and so those costs haven't gone away. So where do they go? They go to the consumer, which would be all of you and your parents, right? Okay. Let us know the issue, and then you can read it off to us as Ms. Burnell comes up.
Personal image. A teen's social well-being depends largely upon his or her perception of their personal image and identity. Teens often feel insecure about appearance and body image while comparing themselves to peers. They feel that they must compete with others to measure up athletically, musically, scholastically, or in popularity. When teens are rejected from a group, they may feel the deep stress of inadequacy that takes over their lives. Most teens spend a great amount of time concentrating on the aspect of others, hindering their own attempts to find out who they really are.
Hands. Now I'm going to give preference to people I haven't heard from, my child, and then the next one.
I think personal image is very important at any age level, but I feel that the only reason it's important for teens is because we care about what people think. And I think what's more important than that is not about caring about what people think, but the level that it influences you. I think being confident and having a good body image, a good mental image is important overall, but I feel that it is an issue more so than a positive aspect for teens is because we try so hard to impress others. And I think that we should start by impressing ourselves, and then everything else will come natural as far as other people being attracted to our personality.
Okay, I think personal image is an issue to make it. But like me, basketball is life. I don't make personal image an issue. I focus on what I need to focus on. So I think that if you find something that's good for you, that you should just feed off of that and not worry about what people think.
Recently in my English class, we had talked about how people perceive us and why we never see ourselves every day. It's because we always look forward to the people that we see. basically we're just a shell of who we are, and how people perceive us is how we're going to always be. So self-image really isn't important.
Absolutely. If we can always remember that we are but spirits having an earthly experience, then we'll always be able to keep things into perspective, okay? Be who you want to be and not who people want you to be. Very powerful. So we got to move to the next issue. And we're at issue number 7. Where's 7 at? My man.
School. Academic pressures add a large amount of stress to teens' lives. Pressure for high achievement from parents, teachers, and colleges, as well as self-induced pressures, forces students to prioritize their academic success. Also, while being involved in extracurricular activities keeps teens away from negative behaviors and makes them well-rounded individuals. These may create additional sources of stress.
Raise your hand if school is an issue that you see as an issue, as being a stressor or a pressure. Okay, good number. Comments on it. Comments on it. Somebody I haven't talked to before. Okay. Anthony, you got all the answers, brother.
Well, as far as school is concerned, I've learned how to manage it better because I went to a DECA conference, and the man said you're going to fail. It's natural that you fail, but that makes you a great leader. You're not going to learn if you don't fail. So even by looking at my mom, because my mom's a biologist, my dad's a music producer. So it's kind of like looking at them and seeing what they've been through. It helps me a lot because they failed at a lot of stuff. I fail. I might fail a test here and every now and then, but I learn, and that's how I learn. If I get it wrong, I'm going to do better next time. And somebody else told me that competition, you always want competition because somebody isn't going to go for what they think is hard. They're going to go for what they think is easy. So your competition is actually greater at what you think is easy than what's hard because the common person isn't going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this for the like $1 million scholarship or $500,000. A lot of people aren't going to go for that because I don't qualify. I'm not going to get it. So you always should go for where there's a lot of competition and always know that you're going to fail, but that's just going to make you a great leader.
Absolutely. Somebody we haven't heard from yet.
What I got to say about school, school is just like a challenge itself because you try to do like if you're an athlete and you're trying to get that scholarship and you're trying to do your schoolwork and managing all the classes, especially when you have AP classes, advanced placement classes, and becoming a student athlete, juggling everything and then being in clubs or whatnot, trying to juggle your schedules, trying to juggle like financial issues with your parents because you got to pay for everything. Those are the main things you worry about in school. So like paying for things like sports, to attend functions or whatnot, dealing with grades and then dealing with your parents, getting on to you about your grades and how you're not going to play if you don't get the grades, whatnot. But just being like a student athlete and trying to maintain grades.
Your parents on your back about your grades. I heard financial things as it relates to playing sports and being in clubs and those types of things, and that would be very important, so I do understand that. Now we're at topic number 8. Yes, sir.
Sex. While the levels may vary from school to school and among different age groups, almost all teens face sexual pressures. The media portrays a carefree attitude about sex, like it's not a big deal and it happens every day, all the time, and rarely shows the effects or consequences of it. But few things impact the life of a teen more than consequences of sexual behavior. Teens are often judged by the person they are with, for better or for worse. Sexual pressures are different for males and females. For teen males, they are pressured to have sex by their peers, and this contributes to lying and using females. Teen females face the stigma of being viewed as sleazy, a destroyed social image, and a destroyed self-esteem. Both sexes face guilt. Sex is sold to teens as a thing they should desire, but the consequences, mostly overlooked, are not presented to teens like they could be.
Raise your hand if that's an issue for teenage high school students. Okay. Comments. Comments? Preferably from people we hadn't heard from yet. My man. There he is. I'll be back.
I really do think that sex is a big problem in school, especially dealing with, like, I really think it's much harder for females necessarily than males, because, like, all these different diseases exposed and everything with that. Like, I found out one of my best friends had a STD from somebody that she didn't really know, just met at a party, just cooling it, and it ended up getting to that. So, like, once I saw that, I kind of calmed down with all the girlfriends and kind of stopped dealing with all that and just tried to focus on school, work, and getting my money. But
Getting that money. That's what we're going to do, get that money. Great comment, though. Great comment.
Okay, so the media portrays that it's okay for guys and girls to have sex at a young age. Honestly, I believe in the old times where you're supposed to, wait till you're married and everything. And I don't think it's okay for guys to, sleep around. Like, mothers nowadays are like, okay, it's expected. Okay, he's just being a guy. I don't think that's okay. I think guys should wait too. Of course, girls should. And I think girls need to stand up. If they don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't be that girl that's, with him, and him, because they're just playing you. They don't care. So I think that you really are supposed to wait, and it's not that important. I'm not afraid to say no.
That's my child. That's my child. Very powerful, very powerful. We got to move to another topic, though, because your lunch is here, and I want to get some. I don't stand between people and their food. All right? We're at topic number 9. 9. Wow. Let us know your topic and tell us about it.
Okay, my topic is stereotypes. Teens are naturally afraid to stand out in a group because they will be easily recognized. They try their hardest to fit in because they know that they will be judged by their social status, extracurricular activities, athletic ability, educational accomplishments, body image, etc. And almost any other characteristic that makes them so-called different. While bullying may seem as only a childish behavior, negative rumors towards a teen, whether true or false, may damage his or her reputation in the eyes of peers. When teens become the victims of rumors and criticism, often based on unfair stereotypes, they may feel inferior to others, and hatred may build up inside of them.
Wow. Is that a real issue? Let me see by show of hands. Okay. Comments. Here, and we're gonna get around. Okay, and there. So.
Okay, so stereotypes are a huge problem in like everyday teenager life because automatically because I'm African American, I'm supposed to listen to rap. I don't. I prefer rock. So people judge me off of that, and then even the way I speak. I'm white because I enunciate my words. Like, there's a lot of untrue stereotypes about different things. Like, Asians are supposed to be good in math. I know a lot of Asians that are not good in math. And it's like, why do you go over to their table when we have like a test and try to cheat off their paper? Like I think they should be, they're going to be existent no matter what because it'll keep going through generations or whatever, but you just have to find a way to handle it.
Great comments.
I guess because recently my college choice, I'm going to go to Morehouse. So, and I guess when I tell a lot of people that, we had a teacher at my school, and I told her, and she looked at me, she was like, I didn't even know Morehouse accepted white people. And I think as I try to progress in life and to go places, that's kind of a common stereotype. People, why do you want to go to that? I guess I'm assumed you're supposed to go to a predominantly white college or something like that. But I guess it's because I chose the route I chose because of where I'm comfortable and what I want to do in life. So I think I think race is a very big stereotype for all of us, no matter what color you may be. So
I guess the moral of the story as it relates to stereotypes is get to know a person before you make any kind of judgment, right? All right. We're going to go to issue number 10 because I want to get you guys to lunch. So we're at topic number 10. Where are you, number 10?
Okay. My topic is stress. Teenagers often have a difficult time coping with the stress caused by all aspects of life. This internal conflict may be positive, pushing a teen to the highest possibility of level of performance. However, stress builds up and goals aren't achieved. Teenagers may feel inadequate and give up trying. Stresses from school, relationships, and family stress may hinder a child's functioning and create psychological problems.
You guys feel stressed? How many people in here have ever felt stressed? But wait a minute. Some of you don't have jobs. None of you have bills, I would hope. Maybe some of you have some bills. So why do you feel stressed? Who can talk to me about stress?
I feel that people go through stress because they feel the need to live up to expectations. People hold people to such high standards that may not be achieved, and people feel that they're obligated to do such, when in all actuality, it's just do your best, perform at the fullest, and then be satisfied with wherever you get. If you aim high and you strike low, then be satisfied with that. Just don't undercut yourself and aim low, because if you do aim high, then you'll get much higher than where you would have aimed or what you have settled for. So I just say strive to push yourself.
Great comment.
Well, personally, having AP classes, sports, and have the clubs that's offered at the school, I believe that adults, they really didn't have as many clubs and activities at their school back in those times. So they just, juggling between making good grades, performing your best in each activity is really stressful, but to deal with it, you just have to set goals for each thing you go through and just work from there.
Great comment. So I want to say thank you to all of you, because what we've had here is an opportunity for you, from your perspective, to tell people what are those things that are on your mind, what are those things that are stressing you, and people your age. And the other thing is you got an opportunity to tell people your age what they can do about it. You gave great advice. So give yourself another round of applause for that. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to be here with you today. I feel blessed because of it. And I hope that the rest of your teen summit is a great one, all right? So thank you again, all right? I think it's safe to say that it is quite unusual for the president of a historic university to come to a school district with over $1 million in scholarships in hand. But that is exactly what Dr. James H. Ammons of Florida A&M University did. 27 of our Clayton County students, who are the brightest and best, walked away with some top dollar scholarships. Before awarding the scholarships, Dr. Ammons spoke to our students. Here is some of what he had to say.
The people that you're going to compete against are not just in Clayton County, they're not just in Atlanta, they aren't in Georgia or Florida or in the United States. The competition that you're going to face is global. And the same job that you're thinking about having, the same graduate or professional school that you're thinking about going to, there are young people all over the globe, in China, in India, Japan, Korea, who have their sights set on the same thing that you are thinking about. They're dreaming about the same thing that you're dreaming about. But one thing that I can guarantee you this morning is that they are working night and day. They're in societies where academic excellence is a must. It's mandatory. You see, they're not spending their time worrying about whether or not Rihanna and Chris Brown are back together. They're not worried about Wiz Khalifa. They're not worried about Beyonce and Jay-Z. What they're doing, they're burning that midnight oil. Every hour of the day, they're preparing for this future that they see in America. And they want your spot. We're going to get you ready to not only compete, but we're going to get you ready to win. It's not just enough to compete. You got to win.
We'll be back in a moment.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep Atlanta students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step."
Meet Taylor Townsend. Taylor is a 16-year-old tennis phenom and the daughter of Sheila and Gary Townsend. Mr. Gary Townsend is the principal of Charles Drew High School. Taylor is one of the top amateur golfers in the world, having recently won the Australian Open singles and doubles championship. She's also the ITF's #1 ranked amateur women's golfer in the world. The only question left about Taylor is, when will she turn pro? Here's my interview with Taylor Townsend and her dad, Principal Gary Townsend. Well, let's get right down to the questions, and it's so good to have you with us, Taylor, as well as your dad, one of our principals of one of our great high schools. Taylor, how did you get interested in tennis?
Well, my mom played in college, and she played when she was younger. My dad wasn't really a tennis person, but it's okay. But yeah, my mom got us started, and it was just something that we kind of picked up because she wanted us to play. And also, both of them stressed, we're not paying for school, we're not paying, you're getting a scholarship, I don't care what you do. So tennis was pretty much what we picked up, and I loved it, so I just kept playing.
Wow. So where do you train, and how do you manage school? Because I think you're 15?
16, just turned, yeah.
Okay. So where do you train, and how do you manage school?
Well, I train at the USTA Tennis Center down in Boca. I'm in the player development program, and I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. And in the program, it's specifically designed to give us the optimal amount of training and the optimal amount of education that we can get. So we take our classes online through K-12, International Academy, and we do all of our classes online, and we work time in between our schedule every day to get into the classroom and do school. And usually we go to school 2 to 3 times a day. Wow.
So you're the #1 ranked player in the world as it relates to ITF. Tell everybody what that means.
Well, it's the International Tennis Federation, that's ITF. And pretty much what that means is there are people, in order to be eligible to play ITF events, you have to be at least 13. So everyone from 13 to 18 is eligible for ITF events. So I'm #1 as far as, anyone in that age group, and it's either an amateur or professional.
So tennis has taken you all across the world.
Yes.
Where are some of the places that you've played? Because I know that I read that you won the Australian doubles, and then you went back and won the singles as well. So talk about that, and talk about some of the other places that you've played throughout the world.
Well, I've been to Australia. Last week I just came back from Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've been all across the United States. I've been to England, France. I've been to the Czech Republic. I've been to Spain, and I'm about to go back again. So I've been a lot of places. But when I went to Australia, yes, I played the Junior Australian Open, and I won the singles and I won the doubles. It was a great experience, something that I literally can't describe. The feeling was just, it was absolutely amazing, though. It's just like I said when I was there, it was just like a rush of emotions for me, because I thought I could do it, but it was actually coming to pass, and it came to pass, so it was kind of like, wow, it's here. Like, it was scary, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it there, and the people there are really nice. The food is good from what I had, but it's really fun, and I like it. I hope to go back.
Yeah. Now, you spend a lot of time away from your family as you chase this dream. How have you been able to manage that? Because that's a lot. You're 16 years old now, still in high school, but you spent a lot of time traveling all around the world and chasing this dream of tennis. How have you been able to manage being away from your family?
It's really tough. It's definitely one of the hardest parts as far as being a tennis player and being a world traveler, because your family is really important to you, especially with my sister reaching and hitting new milestones in her life, she's getting older. She just signed, and I had the opportunity to be able to watch her sign, and she has her letter of acceptance to her college, FAMU. So I'm really happy that I was able to see that, because I thought I was going to miss it, to be honest. But it's really hard. It's just a matter of us staying in touch, just talking to each other a lot, and we use things like Skype and FaceTime and all that stuff. So we get to see each other, but it's not the same. So I just kind of like try to cherish and have as much fun as I possibly can when I'm home.
Great. What are your aspirations as it relates to your tennis career?
My aspirations as far as tennis, I want to be a top-ranked professional. I'm in this to win it, and I'm not doing this. I'm doing it because I love the sport, but I'm also doing it because I know and I have a dream that I've had since I was young. And I've always looked up to the Williams sisters and looked up to the accomplishments that they've had, and I want to try to do the same, or if better.
Yeah. So, Mr. Towns.
Yes, sir.
I know that you're a very proud father, because we've talked offline many times in regards to your daughter and her success, and I know that you're very proud.
Yeah.
How does it feel to you to see your child experiencing her greatest dreams?
It's what we planned. It's what any proud parent would want to see. This decision to play tennis is really hers. Her mother and I tried to make sure we push her in the direction of success, and this is what she loves to do. So it's rewarding to me to see that my child is doing exactly what she dreamed to do, and it's come to fruition now. I'm very, very happy for her.
Good. So how have you been able to manage having the stressful job of being the principal of a large high school like Drew High School? How have you managed to effectively do that job and at the same time be concerned about the welfare of your daughter as she chases her dream a great distance away from you?
It's tough. It's tough. The job in itself is tough, but the job is rewarding, and also seeing my daughter succeed is very, very rewarding. I think by instilling in her early to make good judgments and make good decisions, even though she's been gone since she was 13 years old. In those 13 years, we tried to make sure we taught her how to conduct herself as a young adult, and she's done very well. And because she's done so well, I don't have to worry about it that much. I can spend a little time at work and worry about the other 1,600 kids that I'm trying to develop and move to young adulthood also.
That's right. So Taylor, you were a student here in Clayton County. You went to elementary school and you did middle school here. I think you went to Roberts. What was your elementary school?
J.W. Arnold.
J.W. Arnold. What advice, because there's students at those schools and other schools throughout Clayton County who are just like you, who have aspirations of doing something. It may not be tennis, it may be something else. What advice would you give them as it relates to chasing their dreams and being focused?
The biggest thing that I would say is not to give up on your dream. because, you know, everyone has slumps, everyone has times when they're down, and everyone has times when they're peaking and when they're high. So just being able to recognize and seize the opportunities that you get and that are presented to you, not letting anything pass you by, and also staying focused and disciplined. The biggest thing is discipline. If you really want to do it and you want to make it, then you have to be able to separate yourself and be different, dare to be different. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, when I was in school, people were like, oh my God, you're traveling all these places and all this stuff. You're never here. When are we going to get to hang out and all this stuff? And it hurts because I'm like, oh, I want to, but you know, I have to do my job pretty much, and I have to focus and stay on the right track. So just dare to be different, and don't worry about what other people think, because you know what, you have to do you.
Absolutely. Mr. Townsend, yes. What advice would you give to parents who want to help their children to achieve their greatest dreams? What would you say to them?
Stay actively involved in their life, in their daily operations of their life. Know them, know their friends. Give them every opportunity. Tennis was not the only thing that we introduced her to. She was swimming, she tried gymnastics, but tennis is what she fell in love with. And so once we saw that that's what she wanted to do, that's where we put our effort in. And it's paying off, and I'm very happy.
Well, we appreciate both of you being here. It's an honor to have you here, and we support you, even though you're so far away.
Thank you.
Competing in all the big tournaments, we support you, and your dad couldn't be prouder of you. He tells us all about everything that's going on.
I know, he Googles me and all this stuff. I'm like, Dad, stop.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back in a moment.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Along with other dignitaries from FAMU, Dr. Ammons brought a mega-talented saxophonist by the name of Bernard Jackson, who played for our students. Here's his performance. So there you have it. I appreciate all the great insight we got from the students at the Teen Summit. We are all very grateful to Dr. Ammons for bringing hope in the form of opportunity through scholarships for our kids. Thank you, Taylor, for sharing your accomplishments with the community that calls you their own. And thanks to your dad for sharing his wisdom on successful parenting. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Dr. Hendrix. We are Clayton County.